Welcome back, modelers. If you remember from the last video, I showed you how to turn text into a compound shape or compound graphic and then expand it so that we could deal with the anchor points that make up a graphic. And we were able to drag the anchor points to make the W and the K look correct. Okay, now we're going to do something that's a little bit more tricky. We're going to convert this graphic 5 here that comes from the RCAF font into, or to mimic or copy, the actual font that's on the side of the aircraft. Okay, so what we do, first of all, I'm going to use the direct selection tool and select the 5. I'm going to change I'm going to drag the anchor points to mimic this, and including the curved anchor points, but you'll see what happens. Now, first of all, I'm going to click outside of this, and I'm going to use the Alt and scroll wheel on the mouse to zoom in a bit more. Okay, so we've got a better idea of what's going on. Right, so here we go. I'll use the direct point tool, and I'm going to drag all of these to be as close as I can to where they should be on this 5. Okay, now the angular points, or the ones that are straight lines, is a lot easier. You know, we've already seen how to do that when we did the W and the K and the 1. Okay, so that's fairly straightforward. I think that line actually is probably pretty much horizontal. Now, if we drag the curved anchor points, then they drag as well, but you can see the curve is distorting quite badly because it's obviously not in the right place. Okay, that one needs moving down as well. Right, so there we have it. So that the straight lines are more or less where they should be, but the curves are all a bit higgledy-piggledy. So if you click on a segment of a line between two anchor points, oops, that's the drawing. I don't want that. Click outside of the drawing. You've got to be right on the line when you do this. Okay, there. If you click on a segment between two anchor points that is a radius or a curved line, then you'll see these anchor, or these lines that allow you to pull and alter the shape. Okay, so if I pull it longer and more or less like that, I can end up, in fact I'm not going to do that, I'm going to pull it more like that, and then this end I'm going to do a bit like that. You can end up, and I'll click on this segment now, these are called handles, I think, and you can sort of alter the curve. I'm going to pull that anchor point in a bit, and then this curve here I'm going to just balloon out a little bit. Okay, and you can see that gradually you can get the curve to mimic the shape that you're trying to trace. Okay, I'm not doing it very carefully here, but you will obviously take a lot more time because of no doubt your stencils that you're making. Okay, and this segment here as well, it's just not quite so curved. Then this segment up here, I think most of this is going to be done with this one here. Yep. And there, that one actually probably needs to come in a bit more there, which makes that one need to be a little bit more like that. And that one now needs to be a little bit more like that. And then if I go onto the selection tool and click outside of everything, and the machine catches up, there you'll see we kind of, it's maybe not perfect, but it's kind of copied the shape of the 5, and that's using and moving and dragging all the radius bits and pieces. Okay, now if I do an Alt, pull back, and click on the graphic, the photo, and delete it, you'll see that now we have WK51. I've not done the 8, but to do the 8 it's the same as the 5, but there's a lot more of it, so I'll leave that for you to play with. Okay, you can see that these lines are not perfectly horizontal. That's not right, so you would have to use your direct selection tool, click on the character. I'm sorry, there is something running in the background here that's slowing my machine down, and you could just tweak it up a little bit so that it was perfectly level. And you can tweak away to your heart's content until you're really happy with it. But remember, it's you're seeing it zoomed in quite heavily, so it may not be as obvious when you actually cut a stencil and apply it to the aircraft. Okay, but you can tweak away till you're completely happy. Then you would, that line there was a reference line. I'm going to delete it. So then to print it or to cut it on your plotter, you simply select everything you want to plot or cut. In this case, I'm not going to do the 8 because it's not complete. And then you would do File, Cutting Master Robo 2, Cut Plot, and there you would see WK51. The weight, as I said before, is 7, so if it was a thin 70 micron stuff, that's the setting I'd use. If it was the heavier blue Metamark paper that I use, the 7 series paper, that would be a force of 10. Okay, and then you send, and away it goes, it plots away. The way the plotter works is this area here is the baseline, or the actual area where the cutting blade would go across and backwards and forwards. So this is where the paper is very first into the printer or plotter, and then it goes back that way. And you can see 320 is about what 300 is a sheet of A4. This one is set to be a lot longer. Okay, and you can put an infinite length into your cutter plotter. It's very useful. Not restricted to A4. Send and then done. Okay, so there you have it. I hope you find that useful. That's how you convert text into a graphic, a compound graphic, which you can then stretch, drag, distort, and do whatever you like to. All right. Hope this has been of use. Any comments, please let me know. Cheers. Bye.